Okay, contender regime boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening, man? You know what I'm saying? I gotta talk about this. I wanted to chop it up with y'all, man, and kind of get a little conversation going about this huge fight we have coming up. Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter. Big fight in the welterweight division, big fight in boxing. And, it's a possible upset on the rise, man. But this is the first. I mean, it's arguable. I don't know if we can say the first because I thought the Kell Brook fight was gonna be pretty competitive, but this is definitely, in my opinion, the biggest and the toughest matchup of Terence Crawford's career thus far, especially at welterweight. So we definitely gonna talk about that. Salute to my brother Punch Perfect Boxing in the building, man. What's good? Appreciate you for coming through, my brother, man. Always good to have you. Always good to have you, man. Keep doing your thing over there talking that boxing too, man. Y'all doing a hell of a job. Hell of a job. Salute to the brother Good Rhyme. I said Good Mike Rhyme in the building. Good morning to you, brother. How you doing, man? Said, yes, he can beat Crawford because Crawford never seen nothing like the Tasmanian devil with a level. Okay. All right. We definitely gonna go. I want to really dive deep into this. I want to really delve into the matchup, kind of see how y'all feel about this matchup, where y'all head is with, the chances that Shawn Porter has to win, what he has to do to win. Terence Crawford, does he need to make a statement? What type of challenges Shawn Porter presents for Terence Crawford that he haven't seen yet. I really want to talk about all of that with y'all today and just kind of, get a sense of where y'all at with this fight. Salute the tone of the day, man. Appreciate you for coming through. What's good? What's happening, man? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? This is a big fight. It's a big fight, man. And, I think it's worthy of pay-per-view. Of course, I wouldn't have complained if it wasn't on pay-per-view, but I definitely think it's worthy of pay-per-view. It's a title fight. And like I said, the importance of it can shape the landscape of what the welterweight division will look like in the next year or so. You know what I'm saying? This could shape what Undisputed is going to look like at 147. The winner of this fight could possibly be in the running for an undisputed match versus. Now, I know the WBA, they put out like a mandatory thing for Ugas to fight Stanionis. We could talk a little bit about that as well, but we really don't know when Earl Spence is coming back. You know what I'm saying? Because, unifications trump mandatory. So we really don't know how that's going to shape up. But this fight right here, I think is really going to have a lot of weight on what happens next at 147. James Smith in the building. Salute to you. What's good, man? Appreciate you for coming through. I think Porter might catch Crawford in the late rounds. Ooh, okay. You think he might stop him? When you say catch him, you just think he gonna hit him with something that's gonna, drop him, or do you think he'll knock him out? Because I don't think it's out of the cards or out of the possibilities for Shawn Porter to stop Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about all that. I ain't making no predictions or nothing. I'm giving Crawford the edge in this fight. Before we even get into predictions, I'm definitely having Terence Crawford as a favorite for obvious reasons. But I love Shawn Porter's chances in this fight. Bilal Hobbs in the building. Salute to you. What's good? Said, I'll gladly pay 80. No complaints. Yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully it's not that much. I read an article where Bob Arum was saying that they wanted to make the pay-per-view affordable or make it, reasonable. So hopefully that is the case, but I mean, if it's $80, I'll pay it. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely pay that. It's a great fight. And hopefully the undercard is good as well. King P in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you for coming through. He said Bud is going to have to turn Shawn all night because we know how he's coming. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I think it's going to be Very interesting to see, can Terence Crawford tame Shawn Porter? Can he control him? And just like the brother just said, he's going to have to turn Shawn Porter the same way Shawn was trying to do with Earl. And he did do that in certain points of the fight. I think Terence Crawford going to have to do that because remember, Earl Spence was the one coming forward in that fight versus Shawn Porter. So Shawn Porter used a little bit of a few turning tactics to kind of get Earl Spence off balance. In this fight, I believe Shawn is going to be the aggressive one coming forward. Of course, he has the shorter reach. He's going to have to work his way on the inside. And I think Terence Crawford going to have to use some of those same tactics that Shawn used on Earl to try to turn him, get him off balance, and then let your shots off. The interesting thing about this fight is both guys have really good hand speed. We know Terence Crawford has the power advantage, of course, but I love the fact that both these guys are swift on their feet and with their hands. So it's going to be interesting to see in those exchanges who gets the better of those exchanges. Anton Young in the building, salute. He said Porter gonna tackle him. Hey, to be real with you, salute the Roddy B in the building. To be real with you, man, I want to see Shawn go out there and use all of his abilities, all his tactics. I think I think this is one of those fights where Shawn has to put it all together, just like in the Danny Garcia and the Earl Spence fight. He's gonna have to put it all together. We need to see a mixture of the boxing and a mixture of the roughhousing and the brawling. He gonna have to make Terence Crawford do some things that Crawford ain't necessarily had to do to win his previous fights. I think you're gonna have to put Crawford in some positions that Crawford not used to being in, at least on the pro level. You know what I'm saying? Now we know Terence Crawford he has a wrestling background. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that helps him in his fight, maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Shawn Porter gonna have to get in there, rough him up. You know what I'm saying? Get on the inside with him. Use a couple of inadvertent headbutts. You know what I'm saying? Not to cut the brother or hurt him or nothing like that, but just make it rough for him in there. Put them braids in his motherfucking chin and shit. Make it tough for him. If you gotta bite his ass one time, you know what I'm saying? Like, make Crawford understand that you in a dog fight and this shit ain't gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody coming through, man. Y'all hit that like button for me if you can. I appreciate it. Tubby Leak in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Salute Michael Jimerson in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Shout out to the brother D'Avian Bible in a super chat coming through and showing love. He says, salute. In my opinion, Porter can't let Bud figure him out. He's got to go after Bud and stay on him the whole fight. That's absolute facts, bro. That is absolute facts. Porter going to have to be as unpredictable as possible in this fight. And that's why I would love to see him just mix it up. Have a balanced attack, but, don't show your cards before you play them. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have to mix it up, stay on his toes, bouncing in and out, and then he gonna have to have those times where he coming in full force. Like people like to make jokes like a football player. He gonna have to go in there full force and be extremely physical with Terence Crawford in this fight. And I think he can make it an ugly fight. And if he makes it ugly, and it looks competitive, and it looks like he's the one that's doing most of the work, he can take it to the cards, man, and win a split decision. Maybe even a unanimous decision. A lot of people feel like Terence Crawford has some chin issues. We've seen him have his chin checked in a couple of fights. He ain't never been hurt to the point where he was in jeopardy of losing the fight. He always recovered quickly and ended up getting the man up out of there. So maybe Shawn Porter can capitalize on a few of those issues that the fans and analysts and experts feel like that Terence Crawford might have. There's going to be some unknowns in this fight. And I love that this is a chance for Shawn Porter to prove, can he finally win against, now he has won big fights. He's a 2-time champion. So let's not forget that he beat Danny Garcia. He beat Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that. He beat Devin Alexander. You know what I'm saying? So he has won some big fights, but it just seems like when Shawn Porter gets to that elite level, the Earl Spencers, the Keith Thurmans, the Kell Brook, he just come up short just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now, this right here, I believe, will be his last title shot opportunity. It's going to be his last chance to fight one of these big name guys, and it's going to be his last title shot opportunity. And we might see the best Shawn Porter yet. And keep in mind, another interesting fact is that both of these guys are the same age. So it ain't like, Shawn Porter washed up or he's fighting an extremely younger guy, a guy that's like Jerron Boots Ennis or something like that. These guys both the same age and both still in great shape. And I think they ready to roll, man. We gonna see one of those old school type of fights, I believe, man. Renique 313 in the building. Salute, man. Appreciate you for coming through. What's good? Marlon Premius in the building. What's happening? Said, where you been, man? You the best. Hey, I appreciate that, brother, man. I just been handling some business, man, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You feel me? Had to pull up on y'all boys and get this conversation going. Stone Bone Boxing in the building. Salute. He said, Crawford stops Porter. Man, it's possible. It's definitely possible. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. And, questions like, statements like that, that's what's going to make this fight really, really interesting. Because I don't think it's out of the question that Porter can stop Crawford. What if he overwhelms Crawford? What if he overwhelms him, smothers his shots, get on the inside, and it becomes one of those situations where Crawford just can't deal with that work rate, with that level of intensity. You know what I'm saying? And then people say Crawford got some chin issues as well. Say, who was the last person Porter stopped? That's a great question. And I don't think it's likely that Porter can stop Terence Crawford either, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? You could say the same way you asked who was the last person that Porter stopped, Porter never been stopped. So how can you say that Terence Crawford gonna stop Porter when Porter never been stopped himself? You know what I'm saying? So you can ask, who was the last person that stopped Porter? Nobody. King in the building, salute. What's good? The real soldiers in the building, salute. Appreciate you for coming through. Say long time no see. Yeah, I had to pull up on y'all. See what's going on. Bernard Gaines in the building. What's happening? Said a Bud fight Shawn. He said if Bud fight Shawn, Bud is gonna lose. Bud has to watch Shawn's jab as well. Shawn will be very aggressive and physical with Bud, as he needs to be for sure. Said he needs to apply a lot of pressure to Bud and be consistent. I totally agree with you, bro. And that's one underrated skill for Shawn Porter. He has a really educated jab. It may not be the stiffest, it may not be the strongest jab, but it's very, very educated. And recently, like I said, his two best performances, in my opinion, his two most, I ain't gonna say best because arguably the Paulie Malignaggi performance is probably his most dominant. But his two most complete performances, in my opinion, were the Danny Garcia fight in a win and the Earl Spence fight in a loss. Because that's where I saw he mixed up the boxing and the brawling the most. Those were his most complete performances. And that's what I want to see versus Terence Crawford, because he used the jab in those fights. He was bouncing in and out, used the jab. He was coming over the top with the overhand right. He went to the body. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of Shawn Porter that we're going to have to get in order for him to be competitive in this fight and have a chance to win. Said no way Shawn overwhelms Crawford. He gonna get popped. He gonna get popped in the head like Spence did him. I can see that too. Salute to my brother, the Soulmates in the building, man. What's good with you, my brother? Appreciate you for coming through. 50 Cent in the building. What's happening, man? Appreciate you for coming through. What's good? Ryan Richardson in the building. What's good? Said fight of the year. Hey, this definitely has fight of the year written all over it for sure. You can't outbox Bud. You're gonna have to make it dirty. I don't think he wants to try to outbox Terence Crawford, but he definitely have to mix it up. I don't think it'll be wise for Shawn Porter to go in there and just fight just 100% roughhousing, because Terence Crawford is a fighter that knows how to make adjustments. Terence Crawford is a fighter that can adjust in fight. He can adjust round by round. You know what I'm saying? He can go out there and calculate data, see what the fuck went on, and then come back out in the next round and do something to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think he got to mix it up, give you a little bit of both. He got to have the roughhousing in there for sure. I think that's going to be his bread and butter. But I would love to see Shawn, bounce on his toes a little bit, mix it up, and then get in there when Crawford don't expect it. You know what I'm saying? When Crawford think he gonna box, that's when Shawn need to be in there roughing him up. When Crawford think he gonna rough him up, that's when Shawn need to be boxing. You know what I'm saying? He gotta mix it up, because if he go in there, head full of steam, thinking it's sweet, he gonna get caught with something, and Crawford gonna put him on his ass. Meet Joe Chill in the building. Salute. What's good? Said Crawford is there for the roughhousing. Yeah. And I think we gonna see the dog. Y'all know I am a big fan of fighters that got that dog mentality, that kill or be killed mentality. I think Terence Crawford possesses that. And I believe Shawn Porter has that dog in him as well. He may not have the devastating power, but he got that dog in him, and he ain't gonna just fall. He ain't just gonna lay down and just let you take something from him. So I think we're gonna see that Terence Crawford dog mentality on display in this fight, because he gonna have to have it. He gonna have to have it. Shawn Porter will force that out of you. He gonna have to have it. So that's gonna be exciting to see, because I think Terence Crawford is one of the meanest guys in the sport of boxing when it comes down to, okay, you hit me, now I'm finna beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you put me in a position that I didn't want to be in, now I'm finna beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? And Shawn Porter gonna be right there ready for it. Shit, I think Shawn Porter gonna be the one that initiate the dog shit. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be the one that initiate the scrappiness. You feel me? The rough housing. He gonna be the one that initiate that, and Terence Crawford gonna be his huckleberry. I just want to see how it all plays out, because again, there are some unknowns in this fight. We know what Shawn Porter brings to the table, but we haven't quite seen him versus a Terence Crawford. Styles make fights. We know what Terence Crawford brings to the table, but have we really seen him on this level? Now, again, I expected the Kell Brook fight to be a lot more competitive, and granted, the first couple of rounds were very competitive. I gave Kell Brook the first 2 rounds in that fight. But again, if you go back to the weigh-in, which before the weigh-in, I thought Kell Brook was in phenomenal shape. But at the weigh-in, his cheekbones and shit was all sunken in. He looked like a dead man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, from the neck down, he was in shape. But when a fighter is drained, you really see it in their face. He was fucked up. Kell Brook looked like a skeleton. No cap. He was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I think his punch resistance just wasn't there, because Kell Brook has been known to have pretty decent punch resistance. Yeah, he got his eye sockets broken shit, but his punch resistance, being able to take one on the chin, he's been known to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Crawford hit him with just one good shot, and it was a wrap. It was over for him. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily say that fight is on this level, because Shawn Porter is still strong. He still, he still got that fire in him. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're gonna see a different level of intensity in this fight. And I don't think you're gonna see it end on some one punch shit. Not early in the fight anyway. Salute to the brother Mike Rhyme in the super chat, coming through and showing love. I appreciate it, my brother. He said this the first time against top level. Porter is the bigger guy physical wise. That's debatable, because we know Terence Crawford is taller. That don't necessarily mean he's bigger. Shawn Porter might be the more sturdier, stockier guy, but I do believe that Crawford has grown into his welterweight frame. I do believe that he's grown into his welterweight frame. So I don't know how much size will play a factor in this fight. I think both guys will be pretty equal in the physical department as far as size. Now we know Terence Crawford does have the reach advantage, so that might be more of a factor than the actual, the physical size. Salute to the brother Jay Harris, Too Real, in the super chat coming through and showing love. Appreciate that, my brother. He said, I don't know why, but I feel like Bud stopping Porter. Bro, Bud hit hard as fuck. That's a fact. He said, but that dog could also get him fucked up. Porter is likely, I don't know why I keep disappearing. He said, Porter is likely going to be the better inside fighter. I'm excited, bro. Salute. Yes, absolutely, dog. Now, I think Terence Crawford definitely can hit Shawn Porter with some shit that's going to throw his equilibrium off, get him off balance, hurt him, and hit him with something that could linger later on in the fight where he could get like a late 8th, 9th round TKO or something like that. That can definitely happen. But like you said, I expect Shawn Porter to be the better fighter on the inside, especially with Terence Crawford having those long arms. And here's the thing. What happens if Shawn Porter can work his way on the inside and sustain that distance for the whole fight? What if he can maintain those close quarters for the majority of the fight? How does Terence Crawford adjust? You know what I'm saying? How does he adjust? And I think that goes back to what the other brother said earlier in this stream. He said Terence Crawford going to have to turn Shawn Porter a lot. That's going to be the only way he going to get Shawn up off of him and be able to get his shit off. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be very, very key in this fight. If Shawn Porter can maintain those close quarters, stay in Terence Crawford's chest, don't let him really get no type of distance or leverage on his shots, it could be a long night for Terence Crawford. It could be a long night. Salute to the brother Captain in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, salute, G. Almost missed the live messing around with this 5-mile run. Hey, man. Hey, good stuff, man. Get out there and get active, man. Good shit. But I appreciate you for pulling up. I didn't plan this. I ain't post no preview or nothing like that on Instagram, anything. I just pulled up on y'all, man, to see what y'all had going on. So I appreciate you for pulling up, man. Salute to you. Shout out to the brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building, man. Y'all go subscribe to the brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV. I appreciate you for coming through. Said the dilemma is this. We know who Porter is in big fights, but we don't know who Crawford is in a spot like this. That's a fact. That's a fact. So many unknowns in this fight. You know what I'm saying? So many unknowns. Is more unknowns on the side of Crawford, though. Really the only unknown for Shawn Porter is how does he match up versus a guy like Terence Crawford? Because even though we haven't seen Crawford in these big fights very often, and this is probably the highest level he's competed on as a pro, he's still a very unique fighter. Very skilled, very talented, and I think his style poses issues for pretty much anybody. Now some guys will fare better than others, but I think his style would definitely pose some issues for Shawn that he's gonna have to figure out. But maybe Shawn go in there and just manhandle him. Because we really don't know. That's the unknown for Shawn Porter, but for Terence Crawford, we ain't seen him on this level. We ain't seen him versus a guy that's this hungry, that has fought the level of competition that Shawn has fought, that is as seasoned and as experienced as Shawn Porter. We really ain't seen that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely excited, man, and I think this is going to be a great fight. Mr. Classic Metal in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? David Dion. Damn, now fuck your name up, my brother Davion Simmons. I hope I ain't mess your name up, bro. Let's just say David Dion or David Eon. I don't know why I thought it said Davion. But I appreciate you for coming through. Winners train, losers complain. LDBC. That's a fact, man. Winners train, losers complain, man. If you complain, you're going to stay the same. It ain't going to do nothing good for you, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Said, believe Bud versus Porter going to be fight of the year. This definitely has fight of the year written all over it, man. Written all over it because it's so much on the line. It's so much on the line. It's so much on the line, bro. Dunny Johnson in the building. What's good? I believe Spence hit harder than Crawford. Porter will be able to take his punches. That might be the case. That might be the case. Because look at it like this. Yeah, we know Crawford does have power, but Errol Spence has fought by far the better competition. And we all know that when you go up in competition, the power is not necessarily as effective as it is when you're fighting guys who don't have a chance to beat you. You know what I'm saying? So that will play a factor. And like I said, that's why I made that video when I said the biggest statement that Terence Crawford can make is if he stops Shawn Porter. That will really allow him to put the division on notice, put boxing on notice, and really take control of the division, because he would have done something that nobody else has done. And you're stopping a top 5 welterweight, an elite guy in this division, and a very, very strong, proven, and experienced fighter in Shawn Porter. So if he can do that, that really will separate him from the other guys that have been in the ring with Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it happening, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, you know? So if you want to gauge punching power for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, this might be the fight to do it. Because remember, Errol Spence did put Shawn Porter on the canvas. He did get a knockdown on him, you know? So we'll see what Terence Crawford is able to do. Devin Block in the building. Salute to you, my brother, if I ain't already shouted you out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what y'all talking about. Wavy J in the building. Salute. Said Porter is a professional loser. Nah, see, look, and I think Shawn Porter get a bad rap as far as with him coming up short in fights. Yeah, we know the main 3 top elite guys that he lost to, which was Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. But you got to give him credit for beating Danny Garcia. Even though the Ugas fight it could have went either way, I personally had Shawn Porter winning that fight. You got to give him credit for him. You got to give him credit for beating Devin Alexander, taking his belt. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him credit for going out there and mowing down Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? You got to give credit to Shawn Porter for these wins now. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him credit. This guy has won some big fights. He just haven't been able to do it on the elite level, the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't call him a professional loser now, you know, because he does go out there and he fights and he's able to get wins over certain guys. But this is a chance for him to really show us, okay, are you just getting these title opportunities because you're competitive, because you give it your all, or are you actually on this level? Can you really compete with a Terence Crawford? You know what I'm saying? Can you really compete with these guys? Do you deserve a rematch with Earl the True Spence Jr.? Do you deserve to be in the conversation for a possible undisputed match? You know, I think Shawn Porter has a chance to prove all of these things, whether it's one way or the other. Cry 7435 in the building. What's good? What's happening, man? Appreciate y'all for coming through. Broner, there you go. DSV company in the building. What's good? Yeah, we got to give them credit for the Adrian Broner win. You know, even though Adrian Broner going into that fight, a lot of people had their reservations, but there were some people that picked Adrian Broner to win that fight. And Shawn Porter went out there and dominated. D-Lo 404 boxing in the building. What's happening, brother? I appreciate you for pulling up. Porter easily have more wins. Oh, he said Porter easily could have. I think that's what you're trying to say. Porter could easily have more wins and could just as easily have more losses. Yeah, that's true. Said he belongs in there versus the best, and he always holds his own. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That's why I don't ever mind seeing Shawn Porter get a big opportunity, because I know he gonna do something with it. I know he gonna do something with it. You know what I'm saying? When Shawn Porter's fighting, I don't have to guess whether or not I'm gonna get a competitive fight. I don't have to guess, is this guy gonna take a dive? Is he just here for the paycheck? I don't have to, those thoughts are not lingering in my mind when I see Shawn Porter gearing up for a fight. Salute to the brother G Mays in the building. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to question those things with Shawn Porter. And that's sad in the sport of boxing when you got certain guys where you like, damn, okay, oh, he's getting another opportunity. You know, he's just trying to get some money. He don't really believe, he just happy to be here. I hate those type of matchups. But Shawn Porter is not one of those guys. Every time he laced those gloves up, I know he going out there to win. And I know he believes he can actually win. You know what I'm saying? JY in the building, salute. He said, my guy up early. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I had to pull up on y'all, man. For sure. Number one facts in the building was good. Porter resume is better than Terence Crawford 2 times. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He may not have the multi-divisional accomplishments on his resume. He may not have the undisputed at 140 on his resume, but when you just look at the level of competition, it's not even close. When you look at the level of competition and, you know, the wins that he does have at welterweight, it's not even close. Said a lot of Porter fans suddenly. But let me ask y'all this. If Shawn Porter does win this fight, because I'm getting some mixed reviews here, and then when we did the polls, one of the brothers had pointed out as well that the polls were predominantly, because we did 2 of them for this particular fight. And I saw 60-40 on a lot, but then there was one that was like 55-45. So let me ask y'all this. That's pretty even. That shows me that this fight is not necessarily 50-50, but it's a competitive fight. I want to ask y'all, if Shawn Porter does beat Terence Crawford, will it be considered an upset? Will it be an upset if Shawn Porter beat Terence Crawford? Remember, everybody say Terence Crawford he never fought on this level. You know what I'm saying? This is his first big fight. Is it an upset? Stone Bone said, hell yeah. He said, hell yeah, it's upset. Okay. Okay, I'm saying yes and no. But a lot of people saying yes. Said he pound for pound number. That's a great point. That's a great point. That with Crawford's status, with him being undefeated and top 3 pound for pound, you might have to call it an upset. You might have to. Major upset. Okay. Said major. Said if Shawn wins this fight, he first ballot Hall of Famer. Ooh! Damn. Okay. See, that right there lets you know the magnitude of this shit. What y'all think Shawn Porter thinking right now? People saying you win this fight, you first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a huge upset. You know Shawn Porter thrive in being underdog. He get up for fights like that. What you think he thinking right now? So I'm expecting Crawford to win via TKO. Man. If Bud beat him, if Bud stops Shawn Porter, that's gonna speak volumes. That would be huge. The real song. Yo, the real song is, hey, you funny as hell. She said he praying. That man Shawn Porter praying right now. But not stopping Shawn. I don't think so either, G Mays. I don't think so either. You know, if it happened, I wouldn't say that I would be like just extremely surprised, because I do hold Crawford to a high esteem and I know he got real power. But I would be somewhat surprised though. I don't think it's likely. If he do stop Shawn Porter, that would make me be like, okay, that's a statement. That's a statement. This man just put everybody on notice. Everybody got to put respect on Terence Crawford's name if he stops Shawn Porter. You got to put some respect on his name. All that he ain't fought nobody, he ain't did this, he ain't. You gotta put some respect on Terence Crawford's name if he stops Shawn Porter. You got to. You got to. That's a huge statement. That's a huge statement. If Crawford KO Porter, just give Crawford undisputed. Oh, no, he gonna have to earn it. He gonna have to earn it, man. He still gotta see Earl the True Spence Jr. or whoever gonna end up with them other 3 belts. He gonna have to earn that, man. He gonna have to earn it. You know, but I definitely think that, you know, he solidifies his pound for pound position. Whoever has him number 1 or number 2 or number 3, that's solidified. Y'all know I personally got him number 2. He was number 1 on my list for a long time, but, you know, as guys like Earl Spence continued to raise their level of competition and Crawford started to stay stagnant, I could no longer just keep him, you know, at the number 1 spot. But like I said, he will solidify his position if he do something like that. Said he been earning it. He got it out the mud. I mean, I see what you saying, but nah, he at this division, you want to be undisputed at 147? Nah, you got to go get it. You got to go get it. You got to go fight the Earl Spences. You got to fight the Ugases. You got to fight the Shawn Porters, the Keith Thurmans. You got to go get it out the mud on this level, you know. If you want to be undisputed, you got to go get it, man. This ain't none of that Telefimo Lopez shit, you know, where you winning fake belts and shit. Nah, you gonna have to go get it for real. We don't crown no fake undisputeds. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the brother Ricky Williams in the super chat coming through and showing love. I appreciate it, my brother. He said, get ready for Spence versus Porter 2. Damn. Okay. So you see Porter winning. Okay. That's a hell of a bold prediction. Salute to the brother Alamane Cruz in the building, man. It's good to see you. Salute contender. I say yes, it would be an upset, but I wouldn't be surprised if Porter pulls it out. Because the fact is that Crawford is a slow starter. That's true. We got to talk about that as well. Said it may hurt him at the end by possibly losing a split decision. That's true. That's true. With man, that's a good point. Because Crawford does typically come out and really assess the situation. He really observes and collects data, kind of gets a feel for his opponent. And then he really starts to dig into his bag of tricks. Can he afford to do that with a guy like Shawn Porter? Because you look at Terence Crawford's previous fights, he gets away with that. And I'm not saying that he's ever really just gotten down tremendously on the cards, but he's able to recover and get away with shit because he gets knockouts. He stops guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, with Shawn Porter being a guy that's not gonna go easily, a guy that it's unlikely that you're gonna stop, if Shawn Porter gets up on the cards, he put 3 rounds in the bag, 4 rounds in the bag. You know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter get 4, let's say in the first 6 or 7 rounds, Shawn Porter got 4 or 5 rounds in the bag. You know what I'm saying? He got 4 rounds in the bag. Can Terence Crawford afford to give those up? Because you know Shawn Porter gonna be there for the long haul. He ain't gonna get tired. He gonna get strong as the fight go. He gonna apply unlimited pressure. His work rate gonna be crazy. He gonna be in your face, in your chest all night. Can Terence Crawford afford to give up those early rounds? Because it's not no guarantee that he gonna stop a guy like Shawn Porter. That's a great point. That's a great point. You know, I do love Terence Crawford's ability to make adjustments, but will that adjustment be enough to keep Shawn Porter from being able to do what he want to do? La D in the building. Salute to you. I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you. Said good morning. Good morning to you. That is possible. If he gets that many rounds, I'll be nervous. I really want Bud to win. Yeah, man. That's going to be a tough spot for Terence Crawford to be in. If Shawn Porter is able to rack up 4 or 5 rounds in those first 6, 7 8 rounds, that first half of the fight, those first 6 or 7 rounds, if he can get 4 or 5 of those in the bag, which is pretty significant, but let's just say 4 rounds, that's still a lot of rounds in the bag. And if Terence Crawford starts slow, you know, he can do that. Shawn Porter will do that to you. Can't afford to give up 4 early rounds. I agree, the soulmates. I agree. He can't afford to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see Shawn Porter as one of those guys that he gonna be able to hit and motherfucker forget everything. You know what I'm saying? Typically when Terence Crawford hit guys, I mean, shit, everything else go out the window. You know what I'm saying? They could be doing good early in the fight, but all that shit go out the window once he touch him. I don't think Shawn Porter gonna be one of those guys where you touch him and that's it. You know, I think Shawn Porter gonna be like, shit, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you hit me with something good. We just getting started. That's what I've been waiting on. I think Shawn Porter gonna be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is, I think one underrated aspect of this fight is gonna be Kenny Porter. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people have their reservations on Kenny Porter's ability as a trainer, but I love how he coaches Shawn. I love their dynamic, the father and son coach and trainer aspect, trainer and fighter aspect that they got. And in fights like this, you gonna see Shawn pull a lot of his energy from that corner. You gonna see Shawn pull a lot of his energy from that corner. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you will see a situation where Shawn Porter loses confidence or, you know, he feel like damn, oh, he hit me with something, I can't come back. He gonna be hyped up the whole fight. Bruh said, what color towel you think Kenny gonna throw in? Oh shit. Bruh said, what color towel you think Kenny gonna throw in? Is it gonna look like one of his suits? Bruh, you crazy as hell, dog. He gonna throw in one of, you know, them ties that Shawn Porter be wearing, man. He gonna throw a towel in. It's gonna be a plaid towel. That bitch gonna have, you gonna be able to play tic-tac-toe on the towel, man. Come on now, don't do Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter like that, bruh. God damn, he said, what color towel he gonna throw in there? Man, I mean, shit, that'll be even more impressive if Terence Crawford can force Kenny Porter to throw that towel in. Ooh, that mean you really getting your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? That mean you taking a beat. Motherfucker throw that towel in there, and it's your daddy on top of that throwing that towel. That mean you really getting your ass whooped. That's tough. That's tough. Oh man, y'all crazy as hell, bro. Said durable, got a gas tank and a chin. We in for a fight. Yeah, G Mays, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact, dog. That, I mean, like, come on now. This fight going a distance, and if it don't, hey, I'm ready for that surprise. That'll be a pleasant surprise if it don't go the distance. But I see this shit going a distance, and I think it's going to be grueling, tough, and it's going to be one hell of a showdown. You're going to see both guys' heart get tested. Like I said, we know Shawn Porter got heart. He got proven heart, proven chin, proven dog mentality. We know Terence Crawford got that dog in him as well. We know he got heart too, but we ain't seen it tested on this level, though. We ain't seen it tested on this level. That's going to be the major factor in this fight. That's going to be the major factor, man. I want to see what type of adjustments that Terence Crawford going to make, because he going to have to make them. He not going to be able. Now, remember, every fight that Shawn Porter has been in, bro, it's always his opponent always have to pull out some type of extra energy to pull out the dub or even be competitive. Have we really seen Terence Crawford have to pull out that extra gear? I mean, when we saw him versus Gamboa, he took a good shot, hurt him a little bit, and then he did kind of turn it on. But this ain't Gamboa. Have we really seen? Now, go back to Earl Spence versus Shawn Porter. Earl Spence literally had to go into another gear. When they played Southside the realest in the 10th round, and he went out there in the 11th round and he got that knockdown, and you seen the type of energy that he came with, Earl Spence literally had to go to another level to secure that fight, to secure that victory. Have we really seen Terence Crawford have to take it to that next level of intensity mid-fight in order to secure a victory? We ain't seen that. We seen him turn it on and, take control of a fight and then, later on get a decision or get a late stoppage versus a lesser opponent. But we ain't really seen him life or death. If he don't do this, if he don't turn it on this round, he gonna lose. Or if he don't go get these 3 or 4 rounds back, he gonna lose. We ain't never really seen him in that position, and that's gonna be big in this fight. Salute to the brother D'Avian Bible back in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said, what you think Bo Mac gonna say to Bud, say in Bud's corner? That's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Bo Mac is a really, really good coach. Bo Mac gonna be in that bitch cussing. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be over there cussing up a storm. If Terence Crawford looking a little iffy, or if Shawn starts to gain some momentum and start to really, take control of the fight in any way, I definitely expect Bo Mac to be in the corner cussing up a storm, saying all type of shit, getting on Bud ass. But that's gonna be interesting to see as well, because we never really seen panic in Terence Crawford's corner. Have y'all ever seen panic in Crawford's corner? I never seen panic in his corner. I never seen a situation where they was like, Bo Mac then was like, oh damn, hey, now you got to do this, champ. You know what I'm saying? Now look, we need this round, champ. I ain't never seen that. So I think you'll see a lot of firsts for Terence Crawford in this fight. A lot of firsts. The last opponent that Porter beat via TKO was over the hill Berto. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really expecting. She said, yeah, he had to start dancing. Yeah, y'all seen when that Southside the realest came on, and Earl Spence went into the 10th round hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit took him to another level. He raised his level of intensity. But he already knew in his mind, like, okay, I'm fighting Shawn Porter fight. It's a knockout, drag out type fight. We going blow for blow. You know what I mean? Body to body, head to head. Shit getting real. Now we in the late rounds of the fight. I gotta make a statement. I gotta show y'all, like, motherfucker, I'm in control of this shit. This my fight. I'm the better fighter. I'm the champion in this shit right now. And I want to see Terence Crawford go through that same type of situation. Will it be versus Shawn Porter? We got to see. I think it could potentially turn out to be that type of fight for Terence Crawford, where he going to have to show us, like, who he really is. Shawn Porter makes guys show you who you really are, who they really are. Shawn Porter reveals guys' heart, their personality, their mentality. Shawn Porter really revealed these guys to us and show us who they really the fuck is, man. And that's what I want to see in this fight with Terence Crawford. Not just for my sake, but for the fans and for his sake as well. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a great opportunity for Terence Crawford to show everybody, like, all right, this who I was the whole time. I'm really like that. I really been that guy this whole time. Y'all was just asleep. I really been that motherfucker this whole time. I really been that killer this whole time. This is a great chance for Terence Crawford to show us who the fuck he really is. Shout out to the brother Kano Loco Sports in the building, man. I appreciate you for pulling up. Said I'm late, but I'm here. Yes, sir, man. I ain't even playing this live. I just pulled up, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for showing up, man. Y'all go subscribe to the brother Kano Loco Sports. Man, great boxing talk over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Puerto Rico as well, man. Puerto Rican brother right there, man. Let me see. Let me see who was that. Salute to the brother Ricky Williams in that super chat coming through and showing love once again. He said, consider people really not. He said, consider people really not looking at this fight for what it is. Shawn has everything to gain and nothing to lose. Facts. He wins and he back in the mix. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. And that's one of the points that salute to the queen, Ashley's Corner in the building. Man, y'all go subscribe to Ashley's Corner as well, man. She always talking good boxing over there also. Appreciate you for pulling up. But that's the point that I really try to drive home a lot with this fight for Shawn Porter. And I put so much emphasis on that because sometimes I be feeling like people don't understand the magnitude. But I know a lot of y'all understand, just like you just said, Ricky Williams. For Shawn Porter, he got everything to gain. This is his last opportunity, in my opinion, to win a title. This is the last opportunity to fight an elite. Like, how many chances are you going to get to fight a potentially #1 pound for pound guy? How many opportunities are you going to get to fight a top 3 pound for pound guy? You're not going to get a chance to fight a Terence Crawford or Errol Spence too many times. So you fighting a potentially #1 pound for pound fighter, arguably the best in the world. You fighting for a championship title. You can be 3-time welterweight champion. Now you back in the mix for a potential undisputed fight. Your paycheck's gonna go up even more. You might crack the pound for pound list if you beat Terence Crawford, depending on the fashion you beat him in. You might can crack the pound for pound list. It's so much on the table for Shawn Porter in this fight. But when you think about everything he have to lose, it's not that much. I mean, it's either go big or go home for Shawn Porter right now. I mean, if he loses, it's his fourth loss. Fourth loss to another great fighter. He'll still get matches versus other guys. If he wants to continue to fight, he'll still get fights. If he wants to retire after this and say, fuck it, I'll just do commentary for the rest of my career. I'm good. I'm 2-time champion. I fought the best guys. Shawn Porter ain't got nothing to lose. So he really can just pin his ears back and just go for it. You know what I'm saying? He really can just put all his eggs in this basket and say, all right, let's see if I still got it. Let's see if I'm really as good as I think I am. All those times that my hand didn't get raised where I thought I won that fight. Let's see if I can really put it all together tonight. Shawn Porter has everything on the table right now for the taking. All he got to do is just show up and go get it. And the best thing about this is that I know Shawn Porter recognized all this shit that I'm saying. I know he recognized all this shit. I know when he training, he thinking about all this shit right now. He thinking about all this shit right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what make this fight so intriguing. That's what make it so important for both Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. Because everything that I just discussed in regard to Shawn Porter, that's what Terence Crawford got to face in that ring on November 20th. That's what he got to deal with. He got to deal with that. Hey, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Say you can't be the best in the world fighting bums. Crawford have to prove himself. That's a point. That's a great point. That's a great point. And that's why this fight is so important. Because even if, let's say, Terence Crawford had already fought Keith Thurman and Errol Spence and all, Danny Garcia and guys like that on this level in this division, this would still be a good fight, but it wouldn't mean as much as it means right now. It means this much because Terence Crawford ain't fought those guys. We really don't know what he gonna look like on this level versus a guy that's still hungry, that's considered an elite welterweight. We don't know. So that's why this fight is so meaningful, because Crawford has a lot to prove. Even though there's a lot of Crawford fans, and I'm a Crawford fan as well, but I'm not one of those guys that feel like what he's done is enough. Nah, he ain't done enough, in my opinion. He ain't done enough. He got a lot to show me. He got a lot to show me for me to be convinced that he is everything that I think he is. Yeah, I might think he's an extremely skilled fighter. Y'all may think he's probably the most instinctive fighter when it comes to fighting in exchanges and having the best offense in boxing. He might be that. But I gotta be convinced. I'm not convinced yet. I just think those things based off of what I seen on film. But I gotta see it under the lights versus this level of competition. That's what I need to see. So yes, Terence Crawford definitely got a lot to prove. And that's why I couldn't have him number one on my pound for pound list. You know, that's why he had to lose that spot. Because other guys are fighting and they're proving themselves and they raising their level of competition time after time after time. And Crawford, he's stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So I need to see what he gonna do here. Said three-weight world champion, undisputed. Yeah, I hear you, but you can have. All right, let's say this. All right, let me give you an example. And I hate to use this example because I'm not trying to lessen anybody's accomplishments or bring nobody down. You know what I'm saying? Because I support all my brothers. But I just want to use this example to drive my point home. Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner is a 4-division champion. 4-division champion. I think he was the youngest to do it, if I'm not mistaken. Ain't Adrian Broner the youngest 4-division champion ever? Somebody fact check that for me. Isn't Adrian Broner the youngest 4-division champion ever? 130, 135, 140, and 147. Who is the best fighter that Adrian Broner beat? Somebody tell me who the best guy Adrian Broner beat. Somebody said Ashley Theopan. Man, cut it out, bro. Said Paulie probably, but that was ugly. In my opinion, it was Antonio DeMarco at 135. That was his best victory, in my opinion. Antonio DeMarco. Title fight at 135. That's probably the best win that he had. But think about that. So is Adrian Broner really proven? Now he's a 4-division champion, the youngest to ever win 4 titles in 4 different divisions. But is he proven though? Do you think Adrian Broner is pound for pound? Was Adrian Broner ever on anybody's pound for pound list? How many of you guys had Adrian Broner on your pound for pound list? So I see what you're saying when you read off Terence Crawford's accomplishments, 3-division champion, undisputed, but who are you fighting though? It's not necessarily about, like, think about Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler, he only fought in, Marvin Hagler did he become undisputed at middleweight? I don't think Hagler was undisputed at middleweight. I could be wrong. But he stayed at 1 division his whole career, but he fought elite guys and he beat elite guys. So it's not necessarily about how many divisions you fought at or how many champions you beat how many championships you won in these divisions, or if you was undisputed, but who have you fought? Said, yes, Hagler was undisputed. Thank you, Mr. Classic Metal. Appreciate that. But he stayed in one division and he fought the best guys. So you can't say that Terence Crawford is proven just because he has the hardware. But it's about who you won those championships against. It's about who you beat and how you perform versus the elite level of competition. That's why, even though Hagler only fought in one division, that's why he's an all-time great. Because he beat the top guys. He beat elite level competition. Terence Crawford ain't done that yet. You Postal, Horn, Diaz, Burns, Gamboa, come on now. No, that ain't gonna do it. That's not gonna cut it for me. That ain't gonna cut it for me, brother. I love Terence Crawford to death, but that ain't gonna cut it for me, brother. Postal, Horn, Diaz, Burns, Gamboa, nah. That don't do it for me. That don't do it for me. That don't do it for me. He got the accomplishments. He got the hardware. It looked good on paper, but just like number one facts just said, Shawn Porter beat all them. Shawn Porter would watch everybody that Terence Crawford done fought. Now, at the time he fought him. At the time he fought him. Keep in mind, Kell Brook, that was at a later time. But those guys that you just named, he'd have watched them. Shawn Porter beat all those dudes. All those dudes you just named, Earl Spence will wash them. All of them. All them dudes you just named, Keith Thurman, wash them. Danny Garcia would wash them. You gotta keep it in perspective. And I'm not trying to like I said, I ain't trying to bring his accomplishments down, but this is why this fight is so important. He gotta prove something versus this level of competition. He gotta prove it. And he gotta continue to prove it. If he go out there and he beat Shawn, yes, great win. Great victory. And if he stop him, hell of a statement. Hell of a statement. But you got to continue to do. You got to keep going. You got to go fight Keith Thurman. You got to go fight Earl Spence. You got to go fight whoever is the top guys in this division. This is a division for Terence Crawford to really show us who he really is. You got to go fight Yordenis Ugas. I want to see that. Man, get this guy up out of here. We got one of those in the building. But yeah, man. But that's all I'm saying. I think this fight is extremely important for Terence Crawford for those reasons. You know what I'm saying? For those reasons. He got a lot to prove. A lot to prove, man. And Terence Crawford know that too. Even though he'll come out and say things like, well, I don't need Earl Spence, or I don't have to fight any of these guys. If I retire today, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. That might be true because you got the accolades on paper. That might be true. You know what I'm saying? But deep down, Terence Crawford knows that he got something to show. He got something to prove. Even himself, he said, I don't think y'all seen the best Terence Crawford yet. He just said that recently. He know deep down he got some shit that he ain't showed yet. He know he got something that the fans demand out of him that he haven't given us yet. He know. He know. Said, shout out to Kendall Cody in the building. Said, diehard Crawford fan. And at 60, I do know for a fact that none can predict or define a victory for any fight. It's simply just an opinion. I feel that. I feel that. But at the same time, you know, being people who follow the sport and really understand what we seeing when we looking at these fights and understanding how to evaluate the skill level of a fighter, certain wins versus certain guys mean more than others. I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? If Terence Crawford beats Floyd Mayweather, that means more than him beating Gamboa. I mean, it just is what it is. Gamboa was undefeated. Mayweather undefeated. If Terence Crawford beat Floyd Mayweather, it means more than him beating Eurycles Gamboa. So yes, you can determine the value of a win of a particular fight. You can. I get what you're saying. It is subjective, and then you can say it's an opinion. But I mean, to be quite honest with you, you should be able to decipher the difference between an A+ fighter and a C+ guy or a B- guy. You should be able to determine the difference between the two, and this win will hold more weight over that one. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Meet Joe Chill. That's the beautiful thing about all this, because we get to see. We get to see. The fight is made. It's here. November 20th. It's going down, and we get to find out. That's the beautiful thing about this. Don't it feel good? Now, keep in mind, with all the shit that be going on in boxing, we had Earl Spence and fucking Manny Pacquiao sign, sit, and deliver a week and a half away. And the shit, some fucking wild shit out of nowhere happened, and we don't get the fight. But the beautiful thing is that we can discuss this fight. We can talk about it knowing that there's a date. Knowing that we have a date, we have a venue, this shit's scheduled, and it's on the way. You know, and, you know, if everything goes according to plan, we will get a chance to put all of these theories and opinions and observations and assessments and breakdowns, and we're going to be able to put all this shit to the test. We're going to be able to put all this shit to the test and really see what the fuck is going to happen. That's the beautiful part about all this. You're right about that, brother. $704 Joe in the building. Salute. He said, I give Porter a chance. Dallas, Texas in the building. Hey, salute to Dallas, Texas, man. You already know, Triple D. You feel me, man? Shout out to the city, man. Yes, sir. I definitely give Porter a chance, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight, man. But look, I ain't going to be in here too much longer, man. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get back to y'all weekend. I know y'all want to watch some college football and shit. You know what I'm saying? Me too. But I had to pull up on y'all boys this morning, man, and, you know what I'm saying, see what y'all had going on. But look, appreciate everybody for coming through. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Be safe out here. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down, man. Contender regime. Boxing, I'll holler at y'all boys, man.